Today on Discovering Kazakhstan, we've once again come to the south of the country, to the Jambil region, not far from the town of Shu. And we're going to discover today the desert of Moiynkum. To do it, it's a very large area. To make sure that we cover it all, we're going to go by helicopter, discover it from the air.
We've joined the forest rangers of Kazakhstan, who patrol the region in search of poachers in the otherwise unprotected open countryside.
Well, we've taken off now and we're on our way out to the Moiynkum desert area. It extends for 500 kilometres from the southeast to the northwest, and it has a width of roughly 75 to 100 kilometres.
This part of Kazakhstan is extremely diverse, ranging from the high alpine climatic zone in the Kyrgyz Alatau through reed-covered marshlands and semi-desert steppe territory to the Sox Oil forest and the desert region of Moiynkum.
Here in this region there's a lot of protected species, one of which is the Saiga antelope, which is native to this region, and the other is the mustard bird, which is also very rare. It's endangered and it's protected in this region. So there are patrols that patrol in helicopters like this or in Land Rovers to try to prevent poachers from killing these animals and from them dying out. You know, anybody who's actually flown over Kazakhstan on a commercial aircraft at 40,000 feet will have some idea of the vastness of the country, because you can see from up there that it's absolutely empty. There are regions that are just completely empty, no signs of life whatsoever. From down here, we're flying at a very low level. We're not far, I would say, a few hundred feet, 500 feet, something like that above the ground level. And from here, you get this incredible feeling of just how vast and beautiful this country is. You know, you just look out of the window here, and there are these vast expanses of fields of reeds, flood areas from the recent rains. You know, the horizon, if you look at the horizon, it extends completely flat in all directions. We're just surrounded by complete emptiness, and I can't even begin to describe just how beautiful, how natural and incredible it looks. These birds flying, fluttering over the ground here. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if they've never seen a person in their entire lives. It's an amazing place. There's a mixture of animals as well in this area. It's not all wildlife, there are some farms as well. But as we're flying over, the birds are startled by the helicopters skimming across the water in a rather unusual, beautiful way. But there's also the domestic animals. We've seen one or two horses and a few cows.
The steppe is full of surprises. No sooner had we passed across the boundary from steppe to desert territory than we came in to land alongside an isolated lake with its ragged shoreline encroaching on the surrounding sands.
Behind me you can see the only lake in the desert. This is called Mali Kamkali. Mali is little, so Little Kamkali. And it's actually not that little, it's quite big as lakes go. And it's fed by rivers that come from the Kyrgyz Altai Mountains, which are a long, long, long way from here. There's no outfall from this lake, so there's no rivers that take the water away from it. Any water that comes here just soaks into the ground, very deep into wells beneath the ground here. And you can see that much of the foliage around here are reeds. And this is actually quite a good tourist spot, although getting here is very, very difficult.
Airborne once more, we were soon over the eerie landscape of a more hostile lake of brilliant white salt, gleaming and deserted, offering no sanctuary and no features except its pure crystalline whiteness.
flying very low over a salt lake here, and this is quite an amazing occurrence in this area. There's a lot of natural miracles within Kazakhstan, and here it's a little bit like the Bonneville salt flats in America. We're looking at pure salt stretching out for kilometers in every direction, and the depth of this salt is around about 7 or 8 meters.
Life is abundant even in the desert, and especially so amongst the Sox Oil trees, which provide a home for a wide variety of insects, reptiles, birds and mammals.
I want to show you something here. Look at this little guy. It's a little desert turtle, and you can see his face just coming out. What pleasure. You can just see his face coming out of curiosity to see what's happening to him. But the desert is full of wildlife, and you can see with the holes in the desert floor around each of these little bushes, there's different kinds of animals, turtles, the local tushkanchik, there are snakes and all sorts of other animals. Lizards are particularly frequent. This tree is very important to the desert. It provides structure to the sand. Without it, you'd end up with sand drift. If the Sox Oil forest died out, we'd end up with the Sahara here, which would be terrible, of course. The structure of the tree it's very brittle, breaks up easily. It makes very good firewood, and it has a good smell with it, which means it's used a lot in barbecues, which is not great if it isn't replaced. But the government does have a tree replacement program and make sure that the Sox Oil doesn't die out. It's extremely important to the local ecological system.
The Sox Oil forest that we've just seen a small part of is an important part of the redevelopment of the nature within Kazakhstan and for the whole ecological system here. We saw just now the little bugs that were creeping around on the ground underneath the trees, the turtle that we saw. There's also the tushkanchik and some other animals that live there, and they all rely on the Sox Oil forests as part of the ecosystem that they live in. Without it, it would change the ecosystem entirely within this part of the planet, and the ecological damage that would incur would be huge.
The Sox Oil forest in Moiynkum is vast, occupying over 1 million hectares. But such a large territory is no reason for complacency. Its market value as a fuel is why Aviales Akhran's protection is needed. The tree has a short natural life of only 35 to 40 years. Combined with its use as fuel, this threatens to deplete forestry stocks gravely, which is why the government has embarked on a regeneration program and limits fuel harvesting to special nurseries.
We're returning now to the town of Moiynkum, which you can see behind me. We're going to come into land at the airport any moment. And we've had a fantastic flight over this very, very small part of Kazakhstan, but it's been absolutely amazing. You know, I've seen a lot of Kazakhstan, I've seen a lot of the country, and I'm very fortunate to have the kind of job that shows me all about the culture, the people, the places in Kazakhstan. It's wonderful. But I've never seen anything like what I've seen today, because it's put a whole new perspective on the country. You know, it's not just empty steppe, it's full of life. There's something everywhere. Even in the most barren parts of desert that you can imagine, there's still those little bits of life and that amazing beauty. The beauty is everywhere.
I'd like to introduce you today to Sergey. He's our pilot, and he's taken us on this wonderful journey around this part of Kazakhstan. Hello, Sergey.
Hello.
Thank you very much for taking us around this area. It's beautiful. Now, you work for Aviales Akhrana, which is the Air Forest Security Group. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we have patrol the Sox Oil area every day, but somebody cutting, you know, and someplace firing.
Yeah, they start a fire.
And we have a season from now, from April to October or November. This season for lesa ochrany.
Is this a big problem here for people stealing wood or setting fires? Is it a big problem?
Yeah, it's a big problem. 1 year ago, we fighting here 1 year ago, and we looking too much, a lot of cars, with Sox Oil.
Yeah.
One day, around 10 or 20 cars.
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah.
Now, I check every time.
Right. Okay. But you saw nothing today.
So today, no.
Today, no. It's amazingly beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
The Kazakhstan steppe is incredible.
you know, Kazakhstan is country, others place like here and mountain to north,
Yeah.
to south, and too much rivers,
Yes.
and small lakes.
Yes, so many.
Yeah,
I was amazed.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, Sergey, I've had a marvellous time today, wonderful experience. Thank you very much for showing us the beauty of the steppe from the air, and I wish you great luck in the rest of your career, and of course the work that you're doing looking after the forest, which I think is wonderful. Thank you very much, Sergey.
Thank you anytime.
Thank you.
Anytime.
The Sox Oil forest that we showed you in the Moiynkum desert was wild, and it's protected. It's absolutely illegal to chop down any Sox Oil in those wild environments. What we've done now is we've already landed, we've come along the main road back towards the town of Chu, and there's a Sox Oil plantation here. It's a very young plant that's still growing, and this is perfect for use in the delicatessen preparation process that's so loved in Kazakhstan, where they prepare the meat on a stick like a barbecue. They call it shashlik, and the smoke from burning the Sox Oil plant imparts its flavour into the meat. It's delicious. Well, what we're going to do now is we've finished here at the plantation. We're going to go further on the road. We're going to find a ride now, go back towards Chu, and we're going to try some of this delicious shashlik, local stuff that's produced using this burnt Sox Oil from this plantation.
Cooking meat on skewers is a favourite method of food preparation, and we found a cafe in the town of Chu which specialises in this delicacy, using Sox Oil wood sourced from sustainable reserves.
Well, we've had a long day flying over the steppe and looking around this area, and it's been wonderful, but we're all rather hungry now, and this is a very good time to come to this cafe and have some of their shashlik. You can see it's being prepared behind me on this special stove, and it's on a fire which is from the Sox Oil plant. So, why did they choose Sox Oil? Why not coal, for example? Well, the first reason is that coal burns too hot. Sox Oil burns a lot cooler, and it burns for a lot longer. So that beautiful flavoursome smoke that it gives off goes into the meat of the shashlik for much longer, which is very good. The other thing is that you could use another wood, so for example fruit trees. So why don't they use fruit trees instead of Sox Oil? Well, the reason for that is that the characteristics of the fire are different. Well, it's been a wonderful day, I'm sure you'll agree, in discovering this area of Kazakhstan and the beauty of the steppe as I've never seen it before. And I hope you'll join me again next time, and we'll discover more of the country in Discovery Kazakhstan.